So, hi guys, welcome to my first review, then I get a first impression of Robot X Laserbeam. I read the manga, read it 2 more times. It's 50 pages or so, 50 pages. Take it a while. And it definitely feels like that you're reading Sheldon Cooper playing golf, right? If you ever watched Big Bang Theory. It's because, if you ask me, Robot is a classic kind of like the typical stereotypical classic. I mean, like the media, the cultural media way, right? How you present someone with Asperger, right? He has no emotions. Like he has emotions, definitely, but he can pick up people's emotions. Typical Asperger, right? In that kind of typical media, TV Asperger, right? So when his friend is hurt, he's like, "I see that you are hurt, and see that you are in pain now. So that makes me feel pain, right?" So usually Asperger might have very high emotional empathy. That maybe not true for him though. But I mean, still in that kind of vein, right? He really has very low cognitive empathy, but has really high emotional empathy. That's the typical Asperger. But in his case, then he has very low cognitive empathy, potentially high emotional empathy, potentially. But at least he has very low. The other one, and kind of like, well, I see who hurts, now I hurt. So still kind of worse at that though, but still kind of robotic, right? So it's very Sheldon Cooper of him, he's very like, "Oh, you told me it's a yard. What's a yard?" And it's like, okay, but yeah, and it's more focused on what is a yard then? Tell me exactly. And the guy is the captain is like, "Oh, it's 0.9 meter." But as I say in my direction, actually, even before he said it, I was like, yard like 0.93, and I like say, obviously, I myself have a lot of the Sheldon Cooper in me, right? Because I'm like, yeah, yard is exactly this much meter, right? Yeah, I also would like to know the exact meter of a yard, to be honest. I also hate someone's like, "Oh, it's about, those many meters." I don't know, tell me exactly what it is so I can envision it. So for me, at least, I would say I can definitely relate to robots, to be honest, because I can definitely see his character, and that's why I can feel kind of like I could tell you guys now how the manga is gonna be, because I feel that if I was in this manga, I wouldn't be like Robot or like Robo, but I would be kinda in a similar way how I would play golf. I also be like, well, okay, so I know exactly that this is what a yard is, right? I know exactly how much power I need to use now to get exactly that far. That is kind of how I would imagine it. So that is kind of how I play games, right? So he's obviously very disciplined. He's very like, okay, I'm just gonna redo this. So he would clearly be a good Soccer 2 player, because he'd be like, well, this is my build order. I have to redo it 24 times per day, so I can do it perfectly, right? So it's clear that he's extremely talented in golf, but also he's talented where he's probably disciplined, and he will work hard, but he will keep doing the same thing until he perfect it. So that might be good or not. But that's kind of my impression of him then. And all the guys, they didn't get much story at all, except the big shonen guy, right? Which was like, oh yeah, he's a new Taiga, which I definitely think he's gonna be his kind of rival, because he's definitely the reverse, right? He's the kind of guy that has no math behind it, he has no brain behind it. He's like, I feel that the ball is doing this sound effect. I feel that this. He's the kind of guy that is actually super talented, but he plays from his inherent understanding of golf, right? So it's exactly like Tiger, to be honest, in Kuroko No Basket, because he's like, well, I used to play basketball. No one taught me how. I'm just good at it, and I just know how to get into the zone right. He's a golf guy of the zone. He's absolutely gonna be the guy that play golf and be like, "Oh, I'm in the zone now. Every ball is perfect." He's definitely gonna be that guy that just plays perfectly, because he is like so in tune to golf, and also he's gonna love golf. I can tell you right away. God, what is his name? But definitely he's gonna be. His name is like a Oda box. Yosan Miura. He's definitely gonna be, the guy that's like, I love golf. Golf is the best thing ever. He's gonna be that guy. He loves golf so much, so he gets into the zone of golfing. Absolutely can see that, predict that. But anyway, I definitely say we have to see a few more chapters of this manga, if it's good or not. I think it's gonna be pretty good, but it's hard to say right now, because the problem I have with this chapter, and the problem I will have probably the whole thing, is that I cannot see how it's gonna live up to Kuroko No Basket during the actual battle strike, during the actual engagement of golf players, because it's like, as I mentioned in my live reaction, it's like when you play golf, and I played some golf, not so much, but some golf and some mini golf as well. Mini golf is quite popular around from, and it's like the other player can't affect you for a second, right? The other player cannot affect you. So we will see in Kuroko No Basket, we have several very strong personality players, and they would all be like, oh, this guy is a cheater, he hurts other people, this guy copies people, he does this thing, this guy is very intimidating and he's so tall, this thing, like this guy, he makes you, fall over and so on. They actually affect your skill, right? They affect your skill. So in golf, there's like 0% chance to affect your skill. Actuality, sure, someone can be intimidated, someone can threaten you on offside, someone can taunt you and make you, of course, but in reality, that's all just fluff on the outside. They actually cannot really affect you. And of course, with the main character being like a Sheldon Cooper of golfing, that's what I see him right now. He's just gonna be affected. He can taunt. He's gonna be like, are they bullying me? Like, yeah, we even had that with him. When he's like, oh, I didn't know I was bullied. I just know that people don't talk to me anymore. Well, okay, like, yeah, I don't care. So obviously, he's not gonna be affected by other players, right? Which because it would be straight, of course. But I mean, like, how is that gonna be a good drama? So that I feel is also a little weakness in his character. It's interesting though to follow a character like that in one way, but I also feel that we have seen those kind of. I would say some people hate me for this, but I would say he's like an Asperger. He's a main character with Asperger, right? I would say primarily. I'm not gonna diagnose him here, but I would say that's kind of the general feel. Have that right? So I don't really know like how good it's gonna be actually, because it feels like we have to see from other characters. So if it's what I mean, because I really think it's similar to Big Bang Theory with the main character. And Big Bang Theory, Sheldon is not the main character; it's Leonard Cooper, right? And we see his reaction to, oh god, I hate Sheldon, but I also love him. That's the humor in it, right? So we're going to go for another character. There's nothing wrong with going from Sheldon's perspective. I actually would prefer sometimes to only see from his perspective. More interesting, I would say, on a mind base. Definitely is, but the other characters so far in this manga, the first chapter, they had horrible impression I felt with the main character. We have the captain like, oh, he's so good. We have his friend that is a useless noob that can't play, and he's like actually a bad friend. He's like, oh, there's a bullying you. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, like that's a bad friend, And no other character really mentioned, right? So I really feel like, I definitely feel like you need other characters, and hopefully though, I would say that is the other guy. And I got the name again. Was it Yosan Miura? I mean, it's the first new name, so yeah, first chapter ever this manga, right? So excuse me for that. But yeah, so Yosan, or I have to call that. He's likely gonna be his butthead, right? He's gonna be the guy that's the reverse of Robo. So I think the next chapter, or maybe 2 chapters more, because the ends on saying, okay, I have to meet this guy, the perfect 100-yard player. So obviously they're going to be very like that, clashing probably. However though, Robo is probably not going to feel that. So I think we're going to, this is my prediction, but I think we're going to see a lot of this manga from your perspective. He's the intuitive, normal person, right? So we're going to see from his perspective more. And he's going to be, oh god, why don't you listen to me? Or why do you say that? Or why don't you like that properly? So he's going to be more the emotional guy, right? He's going to be the normal person, giving us that the reader, like, yeah. So even though I personally probably is more for a Robo person, usually, at least when I'm at that age, probably. When I play sport, at least, I'll be very robotic when I play stuff. Not so much otherwise, but when I'm doing something competitively, I zoom in right there. Right? I'm super tunnel vision when I'm doing something. So during a competition, I will probably be a Robo, where I'll be probably like Yosan on the other side. When I'm training, I'm like doing the intuitive training. Probably more. I don't think we're at that, but yeah. So decent manga so far. The problem was it was also very predictable. I haven't talked about that yet, but I think it was very predictable. It was extremely clear to me that not only is Robot good at this, but it's like, okay, so your friend is buying a new club, and the captain, we see this captain panel is like, oh shit, that club is so bad for noobs. I mean, as soon as you see that, you know that, okay, this means that the main character is gonna get that club, because that club is crap for noobs, right? For new players, and he's gonna be great with it. And that is so obvious. So that definitely, I think, was actually a big issue of this manga, this chapter so far. That so far I could predict pretty much almost exactly what's gonna happen. Like I said, he's gonna probably hit the hole, and he missed it with like 1 yard, right? So I was like, okay, I wasn't exactly 100% correct, but the general premise that, okay, new club that's really bad to use, new players never even played golf, put it together, and somewhat it works perfectly fine. Like, come on, it's super obvious that's gonna happen. So That's the downer so far in this manga. With, for example, when you read the first Kuroko No Basket, the anime and so on, that actually feels very different actually. So I think it's way worse if I think about that than the first Kuroko No Basket. We just start with this new guy. He's apparently super good, but you don't get his power. It's like, oh, you can't predict his power. I guess you can, but it's not very clear, right? He is more like, okay, we see from a guy that have never played golf, but apparently he's the greatest golfer ever. He's gonna be the best golfer ever, pretty much, right? And we can just get into it. We can't predict. So that I think is a different a minus for this manga so far. That because it's going the more natural, the more standard route of all the sport manga as well, or the shonen in general, it's like, okay, let's start with a main character that is weak, bullied, or whatever, outsider, and let's make him a good player, right? And we can see his underdog travel, his adventure of becoming better. Obviously, that is where his manga's going for so far. Still with a very special main character though, so that is good. That is a more of a unique main character. But I think that one problem now I've seen so far, as I hope they're gonna fix, or the artist, the mangaka, is that we have to see more of an interaction like that, because his friend, I would say, is not good enough as a sidekick. He's not good enough to bring up robot personality. I think he's already good. I hope it's a bit more of that maybe, but I don't know. So it feels like you have to definitely read a few more chapters, and hopefully the golf club will have some kind of typical, like, his cute manager or something like that, but something that he can more interact with, like you need a female character here that he can interact with. We should only have one female right so far, and she was like, "Are you having fun?" So I think we need something more like that, right? That tries to like bring Robo out of his shell, right? Probably. He don't want to. I can tell you from experience myself. As being a half of a robot guy, you don't want that. You like girls, but that doesn't matter. You're not like whatever. That you don't have that kind of interest usually because you're so insumed on what you're doing. No, I want to learn golf now, so fuck off, big boobs. It's kind of like that, right? But I would definitely guess they're gonna have some manager, a female manager probably, reading Kuroko No Basket. But yeah, something like that. But I think it needed. I think something needed to go. Something better, honestly, something with more personality, definitely. So I think that the interaction between Yosan and Robo, which is probably gonna be next chapter, that is gonna be many butthead probably. That is gonna be probably tells you a lot about this manga. And also that what we lack, of course, is that they still haven't actually placed on a field, because I really want to see this manga how they actually try to make golf like a dramatic experience when you're watching it, right? When you're actually playing each other. Something will be like shoot the yard shot, the power shot. That is actually the most uninteresting thing of golf too. So it's kind of like that. So I have to say, first impression wise, it's like okay start, a little bit predictable. I would say Kuroko No Basket had a better start, and I'm a little worried because golf is, to me, in my opinion, golf is not exciting as basketball. You can't make it because you don't have the random effect, you don't have the interacting, that people can cheat, people can punch you in the face. You don't have that, right? Or the super abilities. Well, I would say that would be interesting though. How he would have, I guess, that people can have like, oh, I can shoot, or I can never miss, or how they will have their abilities. If they have that would be interesting. But also they have a less effect too, because you could in a basket, if someone was, I can block everything you do. That affects the other player, right? In golf, if you have some super ability, that does not affect how the other player play, right? And obviously, robot has a Laserbeam, who shoots straight, right, with no curve. So, but the other guys doesn't really matter, right? He's gonna shoot. But I think it's gonna be interesting somewhat when they do tournaments and that. But he's about to be like, oh, I just wanna play golf and see how good I can get, and he's just like here reading. So, but yeah, so I don't know. Like first impression. 6 out of 10 on that. Maybe negative. I don't know. I just feel like I've seen this before. Like it's so predictable. Extremely predictable chapter. And also the tag guys. I was like, oh, those are tags. Like his hero's like, oh, he's a tag. It's like not very much innovative there. How you draw a tag? That's a tag. His face is tag. The face is tag. They're tag guys. And of course they're from another school, some other random school, not from the main school, because the main school they're going to, they're nice people, right? So, yeah, not gonna have tags in the actual club he's gonna be in, right? So obviously they're from another school and so on. So extremely predictable in that sense. So yeah, so far I'm a little like, I have to say. But I'm gonna read at least the first Yeah, I would say let's say this not 5-6% is more probably. So I want to see a tournament something, unless it completely fails when Yosa meets Robo, because I think that's going to be the most important thing actually going forward in this manga. How that's going to turn out, because it's going to rivalry and it's going to be some yaoi art of this probably like half a year after that. So that's going to be very important how that meshes up the Ukusaki and so on. Yeah. So yeah, see you guys next week then. I think it's gonna be a week thing. So yeah, have a great day.